we will be discussing the institutions for rural development. As you know, the government has initiated a number of programs for the rural sector, and also there are a number of institutions that have been built over the number of years, which have the mandate to support the rural development programs. And some of the institutions that we will be discussing would be NABARD, BIRD, IFCO, CRIPCO, IRMA, of course, IARI, and NERD, and a host of other institutions also which are directly responsible for rural development in the country. The first of the institutions that we would deal with is NABARD, which is the apex development bank that has been set up by the government to mandate. It has the mandate for facilitating credit flow for promotion and development of agriculture, small-scale industries, cottage and village industries, handicrafts, and rural crafts. It also has the mandate to support all other allied economic activities in the rural areas, promote integrated and sustainable rural development, and secure prosperity for the rural areas. The thrust area of NABARD is strengthening of rural financial institutions which deliver credit to agricultural and the rural sector, so that timely and adequate credit is made available to them. The pivotal role of NABARD, which is a facilitator for rural development, is providing refinance to lending institutions in rural areas, bringing about or promoting institutional development, and evaluating, monitoring, and inspecting the client banks. The additional functions of NABARD include: it acts as a coordinator in the operations of rural credit institutions. It extends assistance to the government and the RBI and other organizations in matter relating to rural development. It offers training and research facilities for banks, cooperatives, and organizations working in the field of rural development. It helps the state governments in reaching their targets of providing assistance to eligible institutions in agriculture and rural development. It also acts as a regulator for cooperative banks and regional rural banking institutions. The credit functions of NABARD include framing policy and guidelines for rural financial institutions, providing credit facilities to issuing organizations, preparation of potential linked credit plans annually for all districts for identification of credit potential, monitoring the flow of ground level rural credit. The development functions of NABARD are: help cooperative banks and the rural regional banks to prepare development action plans for themselves. The Memorandum of Understanding with state governments and cooperative banks regarding their respective obligations to improve the affairs of the banks in a stipulated time frame. Help the RRBs and the sponsor banks to enter into the Memorandum of Understanding specifying their respective obligations to improve the affairs of the regional rural banks in a stipulated time frame. Monitor the implementation of development action plans of banks and fulfillment of MOU obligations, and provide financial assistance to cooperatives and regional rural banks for establishment of technical monitoring and evaluation cells. The promotional functions of NABARD include: it provides organization development intervention, that is known as ODIs, through reputed training institutions like Bankers Institute of Rural Development, which we'll be discussing also, that is known as BIRD, and National Bank Staff College at Lucknow, and the College of Agricultural Banking at Pune. It provides financial support for training institutes of cooperative banks. It provides training for senior and middle level executives of commercial banks, regional rural banks and cooperative banks. And it creates awareness among the borrowers on ethics of repayment through Vikas Volunteer Vahini. It's a voluntary, it's an organization, Vikas Voluntary Vahini, and the Farmers Clubs. Now we come to the Indian Agricultural Research Institute, which is known as IARI. It is the country's premier national institute for agricultural research, education and extension. It has a deemed university status and it awards MSc and PhD degrees in various agricultural disciplines. In fact, IARI is so significant because the Green Revolution, which helped the country to attain sustainability in food grain, was the result of the research that was undertaken in the labs of IARI, which helped to the high-yielding varieties to be created and which helped India in food sustainability. And the growth of agriculture, you can say, during the last 100 years has been closely linked with the research done and technologies generated by the institute. The mandate of IARI is that it has to conduct basic and strategic research with a view to understand the processes and to undertake need-based research that lead to crop improvement and sustained agriculture in harmony with environment. It provides national leadership in agricultural research, extension and technology assessment, and transfer by developing new concepts and approaches, and serves as a national referral point for quality and standards. The IARI main activities are through different schools that operates under its aegis, and these are the School of Crop Improvement, School of Crop Protection, School of Basic Sciences, School of Resources Management, and School of Social Sciences. Let me also tell you a little bit about the extension services that are provided by the institute. The extension services basically relate to the need-based research that is required to be undertaken. Let us say, for instance, soil testing. A farmer approaches the IARI that he wants his soil to be tested to find out what are the deficiencies in the soil, or maybe some crops which have to be grown on a certain area. Then the institute would be conducting those kind of researches which are need-based and located at that point from where the demand has come, so that the research that is done is also very relevant and in need and response to the need that has been generated by the farmer. So these kind of extension services are carried out very regularly by the institute. The objectives of IARI are in research, education, extension and information. In fact, they have a very well developed library which has been referred to by the students of different institutes for anything to do with agricultural research. They have a very good library which is often serves as a referral point. The IARI courses include courses on agricultural chemicals, agricultural economics, agricultural engineering, extension, agricultural physics, agricultural statistics, agronomy, biochemistry, entomology, environmental sciences, genetics, horticulture, microbiology, molecular biology and biotechnology, nematology, and a host of other disciplines also which are directly related to agriculture. Now we come to the other institute which has been established by NABARD, and that is known as the Bankers Institute of Rural Development. It is located at Lucknow and is the premier institute for providing training, research and consultancy services in the field of agriculture and rural development banking in India. It was established in 1983 by NABARD, and it has been supporting agriculture and rural development in India since then. In 1992, BIRD was reconstituted as a society under the Indian Societies Registration Act of 1860, and it is still promoted and funded by NABARD, and it is now also an ISO 9001-2008 certified institution. Now let us find out what is the vision of BIRD. The vision of BIRD, that is the Bankers Institute of Rural Development, is to emerge as the premier institute of the developing world, offering training, research and consultancy services to its customers and undertaking other related activities in the field of agriculture and rural development banking. The mission of BIRD is commitment and competence building of people in rural financial institutions and other partners in rural development through training. It helps to build viable and vibrant rural financial institutions through organizational development, consultancy and research. It helps build appropriate systems for delivery of financial services and promotes policy debate on rural development strategies. The client organization of BIRD include several domestic as well as international organizations. The domestic organizations are rural financial institutions, that is the commercial banks, cooperative banks and regional rural banks. The development financial institutions are NABARD and SIDBI. Also the clients are government and public sector organizations, non-government organizations, microfinance institutions, and the international organizations who are the clients of BIRD include training establishments, banks, government organizations, and NGOs. That we will be discussing is the National Institute of Rural Development. It is also popularly known as NERD. It is located at Hyderabad. Now, NERD is an autonomous organization under the Ministry of Rural Development that undertakes training, research, action research and consultancy assignments in the rural development sector in India. And the mission of NERD is to examine and analyze the factors contributing to the improvement of economic and social well-being of people in rural areas on a sustainable basis, with focus on the rural poor and the other disadvantaged groups through research, action research and consultancy efforts. It also has the mission to facilitate rural development efforts with particular emphasis and focus on the rural poor by improving the knowledge, skills and attitude of the rural development officials and non-officials through organizing training, workshops and seminars. The mandate for NERD includes to conduct and assist in the organization of training programs, conferences, seminars and workshops for middle and senior level development functionaries, undertake, aid, promote and coordinate research on its own, or collaborate with state, national and international development agencies, analyze and offer solutions to problems encountered in planning and implementation of the programs of rural development, decentralized governance, Panchayati Raj and related programs. disseminate information and transfer technology through periodicals, reports, books, and other publications in furtherance of the basic objectives of the Institute. The Institute's services are available to different ministries, departments of the central and state government banking institutions, public and private sector organizations, civil societies, Panchayati Raj institutions, and other national and international agencies connected with rural development. So you can see that the focus of NERD and BIRD is basically rural development, and that they do through capacity building, through research, through consultancy, so that overall the implementation of the rural development programs is enhanced. Then we come to another institute, that is the Institute of Rural Management. It's also popularly known as IRMA. It is located at Anand in Gujarat, and it was established in 1979 with the support of Swiss Agency for Development, that is known as SIDA, Swiss Agency for Development Cooperation, the Government of India, the Government of Gujarat, and the National Dairy Development Board to provide management education, training, research and consultancy support to cooperatives and rural development organizations in India. It was founded with the belief that the key for effective rural development is professional management. IRMA has become a front runner in professionalizing the development of India's rural sector and has provided management training, support and research facilities to students who are committed to rural development. The mission of IRMA is to promote sustainable, ecological friendly and equitable socio-economic development of rural people through professional management. So basically IRMA has been founded on the belief that rural development also requires professional management, and for that the professional managers have to be trained for the rural sector. They can provide consultancy services, they can do action research in this area, so that overall rural development takes place in a very professional manner. So IRMA strives to achieve this mission by creating a new breed of professional rural managers with the appropriate values and ethos, and that means that they are also sensitive to the rural sector, by helping rural organizations and institutions in professionalizing their management, by empowering rural people through self-sustaining processes, by building new management knowledge and theories through action-oriented and problem-solving research and consultancies, and by influencing public policies. So it brings about the management aspect in rural development, which is extremely important if you want to professionalize your and make it very accountable. Then you have to also follow the management principles, and this is exactly what IRMA does through its research, through its capacity building, through its training students to work in the rural sector. The IRMA programs prepares young talented managers through a very well-structured postgraduate program in rural management. It's a 2-year program. The rural management the institute had also initiated a fellow program in rural management, that is they study for their doctorate. And IRMA has been closely working with its client organizations to integrate their emerging needs into the program by periodically revising the curriculum of both postgraduate and fellow programs. These programs reflect adequately the growing need of partnering the institute with its member organizations. So constantly it is taking inputs from its other institutes that it works with, and then also integrating them into their curricula, so that their curricula is need-based, it is very proactive, and it takes into account all the latest happenings that are, all the developments that are taking place in the the rural sector, so that it makes it much more better, and also much more need-based, and at the same time very relevant. Another organization that is working in the field of rural development and directly related to the farmers is Indian Farmers Fertilizer Company. It is also known as IFFCO. Now, how did actually IFFCO form? Let's try to understand that. During the mid-60s, the cooperative sector in India was responsible for distribution of 70% of the fertilizers consumed in the country. They had adequate infrastructure to distribute the fertilizer, but they had no production capability to produce the fertilizers themselves, and they were dependent upon the public and the private sector for supplies. In order to overcome this lacuna and to bridge the demand-supply gap in the country, a new cooperative society was conceived to specifically cater to the requirements of the farmers, and that was known as IFFCO. It was a very unique venture in which the farmers of the country, through their own cooperative societies, created this new institution to safeguard their interest. The number of cooperative societies that are associated with IFFCO have been growing over the number of years since independence, and it is today a very, very strong institution in the manufacture and distribution of fertilizers. IFFCO was registered on 3rd November 1967 as a multi-unit cooperative society, and the society is primarily engaged in production and distribution of fertilizers, and the bylaws of the society provide a broad framework for the activities of IFFCO as a cooperative society. The mission of IFFCO is to enable Indian farmers to prosper through timely supply of reliable, high-quality agricultural inputs and services in an environmentally sustainable manner, and to undertake other activities to improve their welfare. So this is an organization which has been set up by the farmers, for the farmers, and it benefits the farmers. The vision of IFFCO is to augment the incremental incomes of farmers by helping them to increase their crop productivity through balanced use of energy-efficient fertilizers, maintain the environmental health, and to make cooperative societies economically and democratically strong for professionalized services to the farming community to ensure an empowered rural India. Now we deal with another organization which is popularly known as KRIPCO. The full form is Krishik Bharti Cooperative Limited. It is an Indian cooperative society that manufactures fertilizer, mainly urea. In the case of IFFCO, all kinds of fertilizers are manufactured through IFFCO, but in the case of KRIPCO, mainly the focus is on urea. That is the significant difference. Although both of them are for the development of the rural sector, yet at the same time there is a fine distinction also. It is registered under the Multi-State Cooperative Society Act of 1985. It was registered under the Multi-State Cooperative Societies Act in 1985 and was promoted by the Government of India, IFFCO, NCDC, and other agricultural cooperative societies spread all over the country. Its main plant is located at Hazira near Surat in Gujarat, and it manufactures urea, ammonia, argon, and biofertilizers. It also has 10 seed processing plants located in different parts of the country. The mission of KRIPCO is to act as a catalyst to agricultural and rural development by selecting financing and managing projects that are both socially desirable and commercially profitable. The vision of CRIPCO is it's a world-class organization that represents the farmer community and maximizes return to them through specialization in agricultural inputs and products and other diversified businesses that maximizes stakeholder value. It has got the ISO 9001, 2000, ISO 9002, ISO 14001 certification. The objectives of CRIPCO are to increase the urea installed capacity and maintain its market share, to ensure optimum utilization of existing plants and machinery, to diversify into core sectors like power, LNG terminal port, and chemicals. Now, CRIPCO has also a corporate social responsibility through which it has undertaken a lot of initiatives for the rural sector. I will like to tell you about some of them. That is, the society since inception has made vigorous efforts towards the development of farm technologies and other welfare schemes for the upliftment of the farming community. It organizes crop seminars, farmer meetings, block demonstrations. It has some field days, Kisan Melas, farmers visit, agriculture campaigns, health checkup campaigns, veterinary health checkup campaigns, and income generation programs which have been conducted from time to time for the benefit of farmers. It also offers a variety of facilities like farm implements, furniture, technical assistance towards improvement in go-down facilities, and these have been provided to the economically weaker sections of the society, of the rural sector. It also conducts soil and water samples, and recommendations are made to the farmers of how they can improve their productivity from their land. CRIPCO also provides quality certified seeds of main crops to the farmers. CRIPCO has established Krishi Paramharsh Kendra at its corporate office for facilitating farmers in providing information and advise them on micronutrient soil testing, soil improvement, latest farm technology through internet, and also CRIPCO Kisan Helpline. Grameen Vikas Trust has been set up to enhance livelihood and alleviate poverty of the tribal and rural population in the rain-fed regions of the country through facilitating farming systems, development and research, institution building, and beneficiary participation. Continuous promotional and educative programs are conducted to make farmers aware of benefits derived through the use of biofertilizers. So these are some of the corporate social responsibility initiatives that have been undertaken by CRIPCO to better serve the farming community and to lead to overall development of the rural sector. Now we come to the agricultural universities, which have been established all over the country, because as you know, agriculture plays a very important role in the Indian economy, and therefore setting up adequate number of agricultural universities has been a very important reason for them to come up in India, because it was required that a very strong research base was needed for agricultural development. And at present there are about 45 universities, agricultural universities in India. Out of these, 5 are deemed universities and 2 are central agricultural universities. All these universities are members of Indian Agricultural Universities Association, and this organization was established primarily to promote agricultural research and education in the country. Now we come to those students who are primarily studying agricultural and allied subjects. The Indian Council of Agricultural Research, that is IARI, conducts an all India entrance examination for 15% of the total number of seats in graduate courses in state agricultural universities, that is the National Dairy Research Institute at Karnal and Central Agricultural University Imphal, in different subjects, that is agriculture, horticulture, fisheries, forestry, home science, sericulture, veterinary science, agricultural engineering, dairy technology, food science and technology, agricultural marketing, banking and cooperation. So these are the various subjects in which the students can opt for study, and they can get associated with the rural sector and bring about an improvement. The career prospects in agriculture, that is also very important for the students to know who are opting for this sector. Commercial firms employ young people with education in agricultural science, economics and business administration. They secure job opportunities in agricultural finance, insurance, transportation, storage, grading and sales. They work for the wholesale and retail marketing of agricultural products which sell to the farmer or sell products of the farmer to the consumer. So they are basically involved both ways. The products which are sold to the farmer as well as the products of the farmer which are sold to the final end user, that is the consumer. Insurance companies, banks, public utilities and food chains also hire people with specialized knowledge of the agricultural field. So there are a host of options for students who study agricultural and allied subjects in the different universities which have been established all over the country. They can do research in this area and they can bring about overall improvement for not only the agricultural sector but also the rural sector on the whole. Thank you very much.